Hello guys. Once again, welcome to Farming in Africa. And today we're going to be talking about one of the most important aspects of livestock farming. And therefore, if you're a livestock farmer, you want to take your pen and paper and take something from my experience so that you don't repeat the mistakes that I have done in the past. Today we're talking about three important things, but I'm going to be focusing on one. As a livestock farmer, there are three things that you need to learn and be good at in order to succeed. Number one of them is management. What do I mean by management? Management is basically your workers and yourself as the farm owner. We know that on our continent, we are very limited to, the skill sets that we need to be able to support us as businessmen in our livestock farming. And therefore, we need to learn ourselves, and we need our staff, managers, farm assistants to also be able to learn and have that knowledge as well. In order to do that, we need to be able to train them with proper management. Management goes the way of hygiene, identification, all the processes and all the work that needs to be done. Today I was live on TikTok and somebody was asking me, is your place cemented? This place we are standing is not cemented, but we make sure that every single day we sweep and clean. Right, that is part of management. Every morning, everybody here at the farm joins together and we go around one by one to do inspection. That inspection is part of management. So these are structures, people you work with, and ways that you're managing your farm, right? So that is very important, because if that happens, then the animals are not going to survive on their own. So management is key. Your staffing, getting the right people, right attitude, people that know what they're doing, or training them, all that falls under management. The second part that I want to talk about is health. Right? How do you keep your animal healthy? As they are eating from the floor, they are definitely exposed to a lot of worms, bacteria, viruses than even we humans. So definitely their health needs to be guided, protected, and looked after all the time. And that is why it's important for you to get either a qualified vet, or for you as the farmer or your workers to know how to medicate and be able to identify a sick goat and give them the right medication, right? So mostly what we do is we have a health program which we use throughout the year. So if you guys, those of you following us on TikTok, I'm sure you've seen the medication set that we just received from South Africa, which basically we use throughout the year. So we have antibiotics, we have dewormers, we have vaccines that we need, we have anti-inflammatory, so many different medications that we rather try to do prevention than cure. So what that means is that we know that in the month of May, we are entering into the rainy season, so we need to give them this and this and this and that, right, to prevent them from this and this diseases. So we do that instead of waiting for the goat to get sick, and then now we are like, oh, what do we give? What does he have? We don't even have a laboratory to be able to test what the goat has. So always try to prevent before. Then the third part, which is the most important and the one I'm going to focus on, is feeding, right? Animal nutrition. If you feed your goat well and give them the right nutrients and minerals they need, you don't have to even waste money on medications. So management, feeding. If you eat well as a human being, you hardly also visit the hospital. So that's why I want us to focus on feeding. Even as humans, right? And we all learned this during COVID, that when we don't eat the right nutrients or food that we need, our immune system goes down, and therefore we are easily to be attacked by diseases or even fall sick. The same thing with our livestock as well. If you don't give them the right nutrients, they can easily get sick, they get complications, especially mortality rate, and kids will die, right? So that is very, very important. How do you do that? So I know most of you, are trying to keep your animals and do intensive farming. That is great, because that is the way for you to scale. But the moment you go into that, then you also need to know that you're limiting this animal from having access to the natural grass that is available, that they are able to pick all their nutrients from, right? So let me look at it like our goats. Our goats haven't stepped out feeding for the past 3 to 4 months, right? Because I'm testing a lot of nutrients and feeding programs here. And I've just been giving them processed food. What does that mean? That means that it is my responsibility now to make sure that these goats have all the nutrients that they need. Their protein, their energy, their fiber, their minerals, which is, their copper, their phosphorus, their calcium, their selenium. All these things needs to be in their food so that they are not lacking any minerals, plus vitamins. Their vitamin D, C, E, or iron, all these things needs to be in their meal, right? And that's what I've been experimenting here to get that right. So we did that for about 3 to 4 months. After I cracked it, now I was like, okay, I have a concentrate that I can feed them. But again, you can't give them all that all the time because it's going to cost you. The concentrate, mixing all this together costs money. So then what we decided to do is to now give them a grazing field where they go and graze to get some fresh food, and then we give them the pellet. So how do we do it? So we feed them 3 times in a day. So early morning, what we will do is we will give them the pellets. The pellet feed is basically a concentration of all the minerals and everything that they need. It's a full meal that when they eat, I know even if they don't eat anything outside, they are going to get the minerals that they need, so they will survive. Number 2, in the afternoon, once the sun is out, we'll send them to the field and they will feed on the cementia grass, but the maximum we do is about 2 hours because once they eat too much fresh, they start running as well. So they will feed on the grass for 2 hours and then they will come inside. Once they come inside around 4 to 5, which is what they're doing now, we will then feed them with the dry cementia grass, which is very good. So that's what they're doing here if you show them what is happening. So basically, they will be feeding on the dry grass throughout the night, right? And that's what is going to happen. So we give them pellet in the morning, grazing in the afternoon, and dry grass in the evening. And at night, we will continue to just give them this when we're going to bed to make sure that they have enough food in their pen before they go to bed. So feeding is very important. Yes, your genetic is important. The people that are taking care of your animal is important, but for you to get the best out of the animals you have, you need to make sure that you're sacrificing on the feed, right? I think we have some of the pellet machine at our store. If you want to try it with us as well, pass by our shop. I think you can get some and go and try it. It's so far so good. It's been excellent for us. We've been mixing the right ingredients. We brought some premix from South Africa, some vitamins from Europe, and then we're able to now create a food that we believe in, that we also feed to our animals as well. So let me know in the comment below if you guys have any question around feeding, about formulas, anything. Get in touch with me and I'll be happy to help you guys. I hope this was useful and thank you for spending your time and listening to me rant. I will see you in the next video.